And welcome to the Part Time Nerd Podcast with me, your host, Alan. And joining me on the conclusion of the Santa Clause Trilogy, one Mr. Rapid Dave. How are you doing, buddy?
So excited to put a bow on this and call it a review.
There we go. We're at Santa Clause 3, The Escape Clause. This came out in 2006. This one got a 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb and a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I told you it was going to keep going down.
It did.
This one
It did. It
bottomed
did.
out.
Oh man. You bring in the great Martin Short into this movie, and that dude. Is it possible that he looks younger in this than he did 20 years before this was shot? Like,
I mean, it's back in 2006. Like they pumped this one out, I think, a couple of years after that. The other one was 2003, if I'm not mistaken. So 3 years later, they knocked this one out.
2002, 4 years later.
So 4 years later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, he ages pretty well. You know what I mean? Plus, he's all frosted up, right? They make him look pretty good.
Yeah, and you have Alan Arkin in this one as well, playing the old Scott Calvin's father-in-law, and he's awesome. I think every scene he's in, he's hilarious.
All he's doing is complaining about code and OSHA and stuff like that. Like, this place is not up to code. What are you, on a fault line? You know, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Jesus Christ. And that scene with him and his wife arguing about Yosemite. They were like, she was like, well, it was cold. He goes, do you mean it was cold in Yosemite? And there were bears? And they keep repeating one another. Drives me crazy.
Oh man, it's just and then Judge Reinhold is he's just hilarious in this one too. Like Neil is just he's come full circle from the first one where he's just like Santa Claus isn't real to where he's like he's Santa's biggest fanboy and he's like a little kid. And he's got this whole thing with the family. We're like, well, let's all take a second and think about this and think about what this does for the family. Oh,
he's very spiritual in this one.
Like
yoga, body and mind are one. And so he's very, very spiritual.
Yeah, and in this one, you find out that Mrs. Claus is pregnant. So they're going to have a kid, and it's right there around Christmas time. Like, do some better planning, people. Like,
absolutely.
You would think you would plan for something like this, but hey, I guess accidents happen. And we have no Bernard in this movie. Like, Bernard, he's not there. Curtis is elf number 1 now. And there's no mention of Bernard at all. Like,
not even a hint. Nothing. No, he's just gone.
Just poof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
All right.
And I like Bernard.
Bernard. I thought Bernard's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's having the baby right there around Christmas time. Production is down, but not only that, you're bringing back the Council of the Legendary Figures, and Jack Frost is being charged with all these accounts against Christmas. He's celebrating Frostmas.
They're like, we confiscated 287 of these things, and it's a cutout of him around malls and stuff. I'm like,
with a sash on that says Frostmas on it. What, you not like it? I'm just working on. We're workshopping it here, people. Let's if you got better ideas, let me know.
Frost giving, Frost of July, all that kind of stuff. He rolls in with these big old Elvis sunglasses on. You know, he's big time. So
yeah, he is. But yeah, and so they decide, they're going to punish him. He's like, well, let me serve time here at the North Pole under Santa because he hears about the escape clause. Because Santa's talking about how he's stressed and like, you don't want to use the clause, do you? What? No, I don't want to use the escape clause.
Cupid brought it up just in casual conversation in front of everybody. You know what I mean? We've been watching these movies. This has been around forever. This is the first we're hearing of this escape clause, people.
Right? I mean, he doesn't want to because he just got hitched so he could still say Santa, right? So, I mean, I guess things could be tough at home, and he'd be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I do. I get a little do-over.
She's just riding his ass into the ground.
Well, yeah, so he decides he's going to bring her family and tell them that they're told that they live in Canada. He's a toy maker in Canada, so they're going to bring him there, and they're like, we got to be more Canadian people, so everyone's wearing Canada shirts, and they've got the signs there by the where you buy the Christmas trees. These are Christmas trees and fresh from Canada, because that's where we are. Seriously, we're in Canada.
They say A every time he asks him, A.
So what are you doing? Oh, well, I'm just doing this. A. You just throw it in on the end.
I don't get it. It's crazy.
but yeah, everything's going wrong. So he brings her family, as well as his ex-wife Neil,
They
and
hit you
they
right up
come to help
there.
out. Lily, they all come to help out, and you find out that he's got to have every Santa has a snow globe, and if they hold their snow globe and say, "I wish I was never Santa Claus," or some, there's specific verbiage that he has to say, uh, and then it takes him back in time to that moment so he can make the different choice and prevent him from doing it. Well, Jack tricks him into saying it, steals a snow globe, tricks him into saying it, and bam, they go back in time. Which he just jumps on his back to go back in time with him, which was a little unstable.
He
Uh,
grabs a hold of him, just like Yoda back there, going for a little ride on Luke's back. Like, and Jack is causing nothing but problems, right? He blows up half the effing plant after saying that he's
he
going to behave himself.
Yeah. He's there to put a lot of stress, more he wants to put more stress on Santa so that he can get him to that point to where he finally says that. And, like, he's there, like, they're decorating the tree and stuff like that. They're getting ready to decorate it, and he's just there poking the bear. Like, he's just right there in Santa's pregnant wife's ear, who's about ready to burst, so she's emotional as it is. He's
Mhm.
just like, "If he loved you, he wouldn't go to this meeting," This is absurd. I don't know what's going on with him, like,
Oh god. It's
just
absolutely insane.
just poking the bear. And so Jack takes over as Santa, and then you find out Scott would have had a pretty awesome life. I mean, without his son, like you find out he was not in his son's life at all, which caused a lot of stress on Neil. And so, like, Neil ended up getting a divorce from his
Laura.
wife.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Jack's running a resort out of the North Pole.
Mhm.
Like, you pay to go to the North Pole to see Santa. He has a whole little show that he does, a little song and dance, and telling everyone, "Just remember, y the more gifts your parents buy you, that's the more they love you." All of that going on, so the whole meaning of Christmas has been just thrown out the window. It's all about presents and things like that, and so Santa tricks him into saying it while he's holding the snow globe.
And then grabs him.
Right, and grabs him, so he's gotta go for the ride, and then they wrestle. They got the little wrestling match, and he's like, "I'm Santa." "No, you're not. I'm Santa." Uh, but it's a fun
The first
movie,
time they
right?
went back, though, I actually liked it because he got smacked with a shovel, like, just like, right, boom. The second time, no one could find the shovel.
Yeah. He just held them down until he got it. But, yeah, it's a fun movie. Is it worse than the other 2? Yes. And this is kinda where, like, when I talk about it in the last episode, we talked about Christmas movies getting a pass. This movie totally gets a pass because it's a Christmas movie. If it wasn't a Christmas movie, it would be like, "Oh, this is absurd, and this is just awful, and I don't wanna watch it." But I'm gonna watch it because it's a Christmas movie, and I'm gonna have fun with it because it's a Christmas.
Yep. It is a Christmas movie, and we've made it 2 episodes. Here's the third one. I gotta get a close in on this face right here. So, folks, that's gonna do it. Yeah, like he said, it gets a pass because it's a Christmas movie, but it's completely watchable. All 3 of these are on Disney Plus. We've been going through them multiple times, throughout. Hey, he's back. Hello. Wave to
What's
everybody.
what's going on?
We can't hear you. And so,
Uh,
it definitely gets a pass. And, it's one of those movies that you can watch with the kids. It's made for kids, obviously, but you're gonna enjoy it as well because they have these little, the quips between the father-in-law and Tim Allen and all that and whatnot. It's really good. Alan, you
it's
got anything else?
it's a fun movie. I really enjoy it. It's right up there with the list. And, like, typically when I start with Santa Claus 1, I don't stop until I finish all 3. I'm plowing through all 3 of them. It's a little movie marathon. It's been like 9 o'clock at night, and, like, Santa Claus 1 comes on, and the next thing I know, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning because I sat down and watched all 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's
And they're
just
all
kind
about
of
an
the
hour and a half
way
long.
it goes.
None of them
I
are
almost treat
too
it like
long.
it's one movie.
Oh, geez. All right. Guys, check out Part Time Nerd here on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you take in your reaction videos. Make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If you got any suggestions for us, parttimenerd@gmail.com. Until then, we'll see you.